You launch a paid ad campaign and the leads start coming in, but they're just completely worthless. People who book a call and never show, people who cannot afford what you sell, and leads that were never a fit in the first place. Or worse, you straight up just get spam form fills. If this is what your meta ads keep delivering, you're not alone. This is something that happens across B2B companies, and it's only getting worse. But here's what no one's telling you. It's not your targeting, it's not your creative, and it's not that Meta doesn't work for B2B. There's one specific reason Meta keeps sending you the wrong buyers. And once you know it, you can flip it and start pulling qualified buyers consistently. And that is exactly what I'm going to show you here in this video today. Quick context on why you should listen to me. I've been a 3-time head of growth. I've worked with over 50 plus B2B companies on funnels, paid acquisition, CRM handoffs, and everything related towards pipeline growth. And this exact problem, good campaigns that quietly fill up with bad fit leads, is one of the most common patterns that I see. Here's the important part. Most teams don't lose money because they forgot to install a pixel. They lose money because the pixel is installed, but it's blind. It can see your form fills, but it cannot see if the form fill becomes a real meeting. It can't see if the deal turned into a real opportunity. And not unless you send that information back to the platforms. In the sales-led B2B funnel, that blind spot is the whole basis of this problem. So let me show you exactly what's happening. Your pixel is not just a tracking script, it is a training system. Every time a lead comes in and fires your success event, you're teaching Meta, this is what a good lead looks like. Go find me more of these. Now, here's the trap in B2B. To Meta, a lead can mean almost anything. It can mean a VP at a Series B company with a budget and urgency. It can mean a founder with a real problem who wants to talk to you this week. But it could also mean a junior employee that's downloading a checklist. It could be a vendor that's prospecting you. It could be a student doing research, a patient filling out a medical device demo form, a 2-person company that cannot afford you, or someone who books a call and never shows. If all of these fire the same success event, the platform cannot tell the difference. So it does exactly what you asked it to do. Feed it raw form fills and no-shows, and it learns to find more of exactly the same. Feed it qualified meetings and real opportunities, and it starts hunting for buyers who actually book, show up, and buy. This is why cheap cost per lead is dangerous. Lower cost per lead looks like progress, while the campaign quietly trains itself away from the buyers you actually want. The dashboard looks better, the calendar gets worse, sales pays the price. The good news is you can retrain this. And the system for doing this is what I like to call the pipeline signal loop. And this is what the rest of the video will walk you through. A quick note before we get into the fix, if you're running paid ads into a sales-led B2B funnel and you want someone to look at your event map, your CRM stages, and where the system might be teaching Meta the wrong lessons, you can go ahead and book a strategy call with me. We'll look at your funnel from ad click to book meeting to qualified opportunity and identify where the signal is breaking. The link will be in the description below. Now let's get into the actual framework. An ad click should not end with a generic lead event. It should start a loop. A paid ad click, landing page, or quiz qualification, lead event, qualified meeting, CRM stage into HubSpot or Salesforce or whatever your CRM happens to be, an offline event through something like Stape or using the Facebook CAPI API, or another server-side path. Then that qualified pipeline signal goes back to Meta, and the next round of campaigns can learn from better data. That is the loop. Not did somebody fill out a form, but which form fills became qualified sales conversations. That is the difference between a tracking setup and an acquisition system. Most teams are stuck in a bad signal loop where raw form fills go back to Meta as a success metric. Meta finds more people who are likely to fill out the form, and those people are easier and cheaper to acquire. Sales starts getting more low-fit calls, show rates begin to drop, qualification rates drops. CRMs may look better, but the pipeline in the day, which is what we care about, gets considerably worse. Then the team responds by changing the campaign creative, changing the targeting, changing the budget, changing the channel, hiring and firing a new marketing agency. But the real underlying problem is their platforms are still learning from the same weak signal events. That is the incredibly expensive part. A bad funnel costs you twice. First, you pay in terms of media spend. Second, your sales team pays in the operational time and cost. Follow-ups, bad calls, no-shows, and an extra education that the funnel should have handled earlier. This is the reason why I don't like to look at cost per lead by itself. CPL is only useful if the lead has a path to becoming a qualified pipeline. Otherwise, it's just a cheaper way to create more work for your team. So the first fix is usually a 2-event system. You still track the regular lead event. So this is your volume signal. It tells the platform this person took the initial action, but you also need a qualifying event on the back end. That might be a qualified lead, meeting booked, meeting attended, sales accepted a lead, there's opportunity created, proposal sent, closed one. The exact event really depends on your sales cycle and your volume, but the general principle is the same. So the first event really tells the platform who fills out the form. The second event tells the platform who is actually worth finding more of. The second signal is what most teams are missing. And then a quick technical note here, where possible, we always recommend using standard platform events instead of inventing a random custom names that don't necessarily mean anything to the algorithm. So for Meta, that top event is lead. For the qualified or the lower funnel event, that may be something like completed registration, subscribed, meeting scheduled, things like that. Other standard events, depending on how your account is structured. The specific naming decision should be made carefully. I'm not saying every company should map everything out to be the same event. The point is, don't create a confusing event naming scheme where the platform sees a pile of random names and then your team can't explain what each one means on the back end. The event architecture should map to buyer quality, not internal admin convenience. Two main ways to send the qualified signal events. So the first is on the form side qualification. This works when you can tell during a form or quiz or whether someone is likely to be qualified. For example, you might pull a company size, revenue range, monthly ad spend, number of locations, software category, whatever it may be. If someone meets your qualification threshold, you could fire the qualified event. If they do not, you still may track the lead, but you don't want to tell Meta that that was a high quality conversion. This is useful because it's fast. The platform gets signal closest to the original click or the conversion event, but it only works if your qualification questions are accurate and you have a good process for filtering out bad fit leads, quiz funnels or survey funnels, because they provide enough friction to filter out lower intent prospects. So a word of caution here is don't pretend that your form knows more than it actually does. The second path is on the CRM side, qualification. This is usually better when quality is determined after a form submission. The lead comes into your HubSpot, Salesforce, Go High Level, or another CRM. Sales may call or qualify them. They book, they attend, they move through the pilot stages from NQL to SQL opportunity, proposal one, closed one. That lifecycle stage changes. You send that event back to Meta through conversion API, tools like Stape, or native integrations, whether it's Segment, Zapier, Make, or some service I've set up. Signal is significantly stronger because now the platform is learning from what's happening on the sales process, not just what's happening on your landing page. This is where tools like Stape can be useful. Connect server-side events, offline conversion flows, so your CRM and deal stage changes can be sent back to your ad platform. But the tool is not the strategy. Strategy is deciding what buyer quality event should be sent back, and the tool just helps to move that signal, makes it a little bit easier for your team without requiring a developer or your technical team to step in. So here's a real pattern we've seen, and I'm going to use a health tech medical device example in this approach. A lot of the health tech problems, something that we see across the board with B2B companies, tech, SaaS, you name it. And I'll just use the health tech because it just makes the issue a little bit more obvious. So you have a company that's selling to physicians, clinics, small private practices, or other healthcare organizations. The buyer is not the patient, but the ads are running on Meta. The creative is still visible to patients, and the landing page language is not clear enough that patients should not sign up for this product. So the example that we've seen this has happened before is that a company will have separate campaigns targeting, say, clinical trials that's running through the same pixel and the same lead event that their demo form submissions are running towards patients and practices. And so patients start filling out forms. They're 65 plus category. They're interested in the treatment of the product itself. And so, but they're not the buyer at all. But if all those people fire the same lead event as the actual physician or practice owner, the platform has no reason to separate them out. And over time, that poisons the signal, and Meta starts finding more of the people who look like the wrong conversion. The campaign didn't suddenly forget how to find buyers. It was just trained on the wrong definition of what success looks like. In that kind of situation, you usually need to stop optimizing around the raw lead event and move toward a better qualifying signal. That can be a qualified lead event. It could be a booked appointment. It could be a meeting, it could be attended. It could be an opportunity stage. The right answer depends on the volume, but the old answer is clear. Every form fill as equal is just not good enough. The mistake that we see is confusing what you track versus what you should optimize for. You can track lots of different events: page view, form start, lead, qualified lead, meeting booked, meeting attended, opportunity created, closed one. That doesn't mean that every campaign should be optimized for the deepest event immediately. If you only get, say, 3 closed one events a month, you probably can't optimize the campaign around that event directly. The platform doesn't have enough volume to learn. So the rule is track the full path, optimize for the highest quality event that still has enough volume. Early on, that could very well be the lead event on its own, but then it can move to qualified lead, it can move to meeting booked, meeting attended, opportunity. And as volume grows, you can move lower in the funnel. But even if you can't optimize for closed one just yet, you can still want to send that data back to the platform, because the full signal history helps you understand which campaigns are creating business outcomes versus which are just creating activity. So before you ever scale spend, I would run this simple checklist audit. First, what fires a lead event for you? Is it every form filled? Is it every demo request? Is every lead ad submission? Every quiz completion? Second is, do you have a separate qualified event? If yes, what rule triggers it? If no, why not? Third, where does qualification happen? Does it happen on the form? Does it happen in the CRM? Does it happen on a sales call after a meeting? 4, can HubSpot, Salesforce, Go High Level, or your CRM send lifecycle stage events back to Meta? Are server-side events deduped correctly against your browser events? No-shows, disqualified leads, opportunities, closed one customers visible somewhere in your reporting path? Is the campaign being optimized for the best event with enough volume? That checklist is incredibly simple, but it changes the conversation. Instead of asking, why is Meta sending us bad leads? You ask, what have we taught Meta a good lead looks like? That is the much better question that we want to move towards running campaigns. The big idea is this: your paid acquisition system is really a training system. The ad platform learns from the signals that you send back. If you send it back raw form fills, you get people who just fill out forms. If you send it back qualified meetings, your CRM stages, opportunities, and sales outcomes, you give the platform a cleaner path towards real pipeline. And that is the pipeline signal loop. From an ad click to qualification to your lead event, qualified meeting, your CRM stages, your offline events, your platform learning, better next test. If you want help looking at this inside your own funnel, book a strategy call with me. We'll look at your ads, your landing pages, your tracking, your CRM handoff, follow-up, and sales response to see where the acquisition system is leaking quality. If you want the self-audit version, go ahead and grab the Meta Lead Quality Audit Checklist. It will walk you through the exact questions I would ask before scaling any B2B Meta campaigns. The goal is not cheaper leads. The goal is qualified booked meetings your sales team can actually close.